Hey friends, welcome to the latest episode of Hot News. We're shooting 2 in a day, which is why I'm wearing the same shirt from yesterday, but we have so much freaking news that I couldn't wait to film it. I'm so gosh dang excited. First up, let's talk about today's video sponsor, which is UFD Deals. If you're trying to buy things around the internet, check out UFD Deals to save money, okay? Tech products, all right? You're trying to see what's the best deal on a monitor? We've put it on the website already. You click on it, we get an affiliate clickback, you save money. We make money. It's a win-win. Check out ufd.tech. That's the new website for UFD Deals. Check it out at the link in the video description. And with that being said, let's talk about the first bit of hot news, which is Xbox stuff. Yes, my friends, in case you are so excited for the next generation of consoles, you might be soaking up all the news, in which case you would remember that Phil Spencer from Xbox has talked about how they were gonna have 2 different versions of the Xbox. They're gonna have Project Scarlet, which is the high end, and Project Lockhart, which was supposed to be the lower end. Well, apparently they've kiboshed Project Lockhart because they were just like, you know what, this is ridiculous. Why would anybody want a lower end Xbox? This is garbage. Why would we make an Xbox One S for the next generation when we can just mix the Xbox One X? Huh? That's right, that's what they're thinking. Apparently, part of this is because they don't want the same idea or the same game development strategy that has been going on with the current generation of consoles, which is they develop for the low end and then scale everything up to the high end. They actually want their flagship console to have flagship development. So they want to make sure that Project Scarlet is getting the attention that it deserves, and therefore they won't be releasing a Project Lockhart, the lower end version of the Xbox, at the same time. Now, it's still possible that we are going to get a lower end Xbox, maybe 6 months to a year after the initial launch. That way, that game developers get kind of settled into developing for the high end and then they scale things down for the lower end. But they want to make sure, at least Xbox does, that they're competing properly with the PlayStation 5, which doesn't appear to have a higher and lower end at this time. So it's not a never, it's just a not yet. We'll have to see how this develops. There could be an Xbox Slim coming out at some point, but for right now, Project Scarlet is the way it is. Ray tracing, SSDs, 8-core, Navi, you got it all. Scarlet, nothing weaker than that. Yeah. Then let's talk about CD Projekt Red and their Cyberpunk 2077 E3 demo. We've already talked about this because we found out that it was running on a gaming PC with an RTX Titan, which is a pretty beefy graphics card coming in at $2,500. Well, we've gotten some more information which kind of shows that consoles will just stand absolutely no chance, which is the fact that the demo was running at 1080p, Ultra, 60 FPS. On a $2,500 graphics card. And I've heard people, especially when we covered this in the last Hot News, they said, well, it's still in development. Don't you know they can optimize it a lot more, and a 2080 Ti could definitely be able to run this. If we're seeing 1080p 60 FPS Ultra right now on an RTX Titan, my guess is it's not gonna be able to run 1080 120. You're not gonna be able to run 4K 160 unless you have 2 2080 Ti's. You're not gonna get the super increased resolution that's gonna come from this is crazy. Cyberpunk 2077 coming in hot and heavy with the graphics. Obviously, ray tracing is probably hurting this a bit. I will probably get a deep learning super sampling announcement at some point closer to launch from NVIDIA as they develop this partnership with CD Projekt Red. So that's cool. My computer's gonna cry. That's all. Your computer's gonna. Everybody's computer is gonna whine and scream and cry and be debilitated. Well, it's still in development. But we can also talk about the fact that New Game Plus has been at least rumored, kind of likely to be announced from CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk 2077, because you won't be able to max out your stats on the first playthrough. You're gonna have to do it multiple times in order to make sure that you have the max samurai that you could possibly have. Wake up, samurai. It's done. All right, let's go. So, New Game Plus, slightly confirmed by Reddit. We'll see. It's better than God of War, where they were just like, people want New Game Plus? Oh, okay, let's implement it months later. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's bad. Have it from the get-go, okay? I want to play it again. And when do I want to play it again? After I finish the first time, not 2 months later, because 2 months later, I'm already into a new game being like, I don't know if I want to go back. I forgot all the buttons. Screw this.
Screw you guys.
You know who else says screw this? Apple.
I saw what what you did there.
Because they canceled a $20 million phone or camera sensor contract that they were lining up for the next generation of iPhones. They're supposed to have top of the spec sensors to make sure that they had the best smartphone camera on the market, but it appears that the contract fell through after Apple decided to pull out, deciding to go with other sensor contracts. It was supposed to have quantum dot technology that would enable precision control of light, but that is no longer going to be the possibility because Apple doesn't like giving us the best things that they can when they can just continue to make the most profit and give us the worst things. It's genius. Speaking of genius, don't you all have phones? Because Diablo 4 has apparently been shown off to some Blizzard employees because at BlizzCon last year they talked about how there are multiple Diablo projects in the work, obviously showing off the terrible phone port of another game that's already out on the market. Anyways, Diablo 4 could potentially be the key announcement at BlizzCon this year, and it's being shown off behind the scenes, and we should be able to see something hopefully soon. And then, speaking of hopefully, this is a bad transition. Anyways, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is supposed to be the upcoming action RPG game that's coming out surrounding DBZ. Well, apparently Akira Toriyama has said that there's going to be some new backstories to characters in the game that haven't been told in the manga before. So it's supposed to be somewhat original. This is kind of my biggest issue that I have with like Dragon Ball Z games that aren't just pure fighter games like Fighter Z, is that they try to sell the same story over and over. But then Xenoverse was like, you know what? Let's do that, but then let's make Raditz the good guy. And it's a crazy world. And I just feel like there could be more to the DBZ gaming universe where they actually explore different concepts and just give us a really good RPG based around the world of like Saiyans and Namekians, and like they could do so much with this, but then they're just like, everybody knows Goku, so we're gonna stick with Goku. We're not gonna try to sell anything that nobody knows. I'm gonna buy the game regardless, but I'm not necessarily hyped, to be honest. Well, it's still in development. And you know who else isn't hyped? Bill Gates, because he recently came out and talked about his biggest mistake, his greatest mistake when it came to being the Microsoft leader, and that was his inability to provide an alternative to Android and be a competitor with Apple, saying it was a $400 billion loss to suck at the mobile phone OS development. They had a couple good Microsoft Windows phones back in the Dizay, like 2006 was when they were like last relevant. They were like a really good competitor to the Palm Pilot, but yeah. He's not wrong. Microsoft could have definitely done a lot more to actually be a good competitor in the smartphone space. Windows on phone sucked. The best mobile operating system that ever came out though was WebOS. I'm telling you, Palm had it down, but then HP didn't know how to market it, and then it was like, crap. First real multitasking operating system. My Palm Pixie was the man. I loved it. Anyways, you know what else is the crap? The 737 MAX from Boeing, and not in the good way, in the bad way, because they're basically all grounded because Boeing decided to be like, oh, you want safety features? Optional! Anyways, they're grounded so much that they actually are storing the planes in the employee parking lots of Boeing. It's amazing. Look at this picture. It's next to cars. It's hilarious. Good job, Boeing. And then, in case you wanted to know just how vulnerable LTE networks are, apparently there has been a fake presidential alert that was sent out to a stadium in Colorado, and they got 90% of the way to sending it to the 50,000 people in the stadium. That's crazy. So they sent out a fake presidential alert, which, I mean, we bombed North Korea. That's coming. Somebody's going to do that accidentally. I remember back when I was in the University of Florida, there was somebody who hacked the SMS system to send out a message, and it was like something like the monkey got out of its cage, and it sent it to all of the UF students. It was hilarious. Anyways, let's move on to hilariously inefficient cars, such as this Lightyear 1 that is supposed to be a solar power electric vehicle. It's supposed to have a 450-mile range, 730 kilometers. It will plug into charge, but it has 5 square meters of solar panels between the hood and the roof of the car, which is crazy, but it's also just gonna be like, okay, I can power my air conditioning. Great, thank you. It can slightly recharge while you're driving. we'll see how this goes. Solar panel technology is not where it needs to be in order for us to power cars. Anyways, you know what else isn't where we need it to be? VR. Let's talk about the HTC Vive Cosmos, which has recently been disclosed, saying that it's going to have the highest resolution out of any VR headset that's out there right now, a combined resolution of 2880 by 1700, which is going to be pretty good. 90 FPS, 90 hertz rather. Vive Cosmos looking pretty decent depending on the price. Supposed to be better than the Vive Pro, which costs a heckin' ton of money. VR is so expensive. You know what else is expensive? Alienware stuff. And one of the co-founders, Frank Azor, is apparently leaving Dell. He's gonna have his last day at the beginning of July 3rd. And the rumor at this point is that he is leaving Dell to go join AMD. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see where it goes. AMD said that they don't comment on rumors and speculations. And then, speaking of rumors and speculations, not really. Corsair, their PCI Express 4.0 NVMe SSDs. We got the leaked pricing about a week ago. Well, now they are officially available for pre-order if you want to pick one up. $250 for a 1 terabyte, $450 for a 2 terabyte at 5 gigabytes per second. In case you need super fast storage, this might be one of the ones to look at. They're now on sale. Technology's rolling forward, and I'm rolling on to the end of this episode of Hot News. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Check out Displates. Was that? No, today's sponsor wasn't Displate. It was UFD Deals. Go to our website, ufd.tech, to save money on tech products, potentially NVMe SSDs. We have links for those. Click on them, save your money, give us money. You don't give us anything. We just get the affiliate. Anyways, like button, get subscribed. I'm Brett with the Hot News channel. You've just been filled in. I love your faces. I'll see your smiling faces again next time. Love you too. Bye.